Right now at 5, a newspaper in Marion, Kansas is raided by police.
And after some much needed rain, we've still got a few showers out there on their way out. We do have some flooding concerns. We even have some storm reports from last night. We'll talk about all that coming up.
Plus, a semi hauling eggs overturns, causing quite the scramble.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So, boy, it stormed pretty good across the area
Very
last
bad.
night.
Very
We did
bad.
have some nasty storms roll through the area. We talked about it Saturday evening. I know Doug was talking about it. We knew that there was that chance for some nasty storms, and Mother Nature certainly came through with that. We've still continued to have some pretty decent heavy rain and thunderstorms through the morning hours. We're taking a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and you can see where's the heaviest of rain now is on the Missouri side, continuing to shift off to the east. And boy, this morning, my drive from here to about here, there were points where visibility during some of the heaviest rain was about 0 out there. There was some very intense rainfall across the area. Because of that, though, we've got some flood warnings, and we have flash flood warnings across part of the area. This is into southwest Missouri, and we still have that flood watch in that light green or that darker green color. And we've still got flash flood warnings back across northeastern Oklahoma as well. And we have flood warnings up into southeast Kansas as well. So Fredonia, Chanute, Erie, Neodesha, areas we've got to watch out for because we picked up a lot of rain. We also had some damage reports overnight up in Coffee County around the Burlington area. Wind damage reports. A lot of these wind damage reports, which are those orange dots, are trees and power lines that were taken down. Wind gusts just to the southwest of Monette of around 64 miles an hour. Wind gusts up around the Burlington area pushing 74 miles an hour. And then all of this, we need this rain, but of course we're getting a ton of it all at once. It's causing those flooding concerns. On average, in this red box, picked up about 3.5 inches of rain, but you see these darker colors, we've got some areas anywhere in there from 4 to 10 inches of rain across the region. Now, after this rain clears out, we have an absolutely beautiful Monday, even a beautiful couple of days. We'll look at that full forecast here in just a few more minutes.
A semi overturned Sunday morning near Neosha while carrying 35,000 pounds of fresh eggs. It happened at about 9:30 a.m. on State Route D east of Crowder College. Authorities say the truck was driving west when it dropped tires to the right and overturned. The driver was not injured. And a portion of I-44 in Jasper County was blocked Sunday morning because of a boat. Jasper County authorities were alerted around 7:30 a.m. They say traffic was backed up for about 1.5 miles after a pickup hauling the boat jackknifed, throwing the boat off the trailer and into the roadway. Traffic resumed as normal around 9 a.m. And a multiple vehicle crash in Claremore, Oklahoma claims the life of a woman. It happened Saturday south of 450 Road. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol is still investigating the cause of the crash. However, they have said it involved 3 vehicles. The driver of one, 42-year-old Mercy Ogelo, was killed. A passenger in her vehicle was injured, as were the drivers of the other 2 vehicles. And a driver loses control of his pickup truck and ends up in a spring-fed pound. The accident happened on Sunday afternoon around 3:30 near Racine, Missouri. Authorities say a Ford F-150 was traveling west on Highway 86 and turned left to leave the highway, then took out a large tree and overturned into a spring-fed pond. The driver was arrested and charged with a DWI. Law enforcement officers in Marion County, Kansas, raided the home and office of a newspaper owner. Reporter Joe Baker has that story.
The step that was taken was the most extreme step that law enforcement can take.
It's unprecedented in Kansas. It is shocking that an unannounced raid would happen on a newspaper.
On Friday, a local newspaper, the Marion County Record, says the Marion Police Department and Sheriff's Office seized its computers, cell phones, and reporting materials. Owner of the paper, Eric Myers, says law enforcement also came to his home and took other property. Why did law enforcement seize this property? Meyer says he believes law enforcement was motivated by a confidential source leaking documents about a local woman to the newspaper. He says she complained to city council members that the newspaper illegally obtained sensitive information. Law enforcement then obtained a search warrant signed by Marion County Judge Laura Vire that alleges identity theft and unlawful use of a computer. Meyer believes police in Marion are trying to suppress not only his newspaper, but the community as a whole.
We have heard nationwide from people regarding this story. Almost nothing from local people. I got called from one local person who said, I saw this thing on Facebook, you ought to see it. I said, well, could you send it to me? I'm not sure, they may come and seize my computer. That's the kind of chilling effect that you worry about in this.
Journalists are the watchdogs, right, of government. And we like to think that we hold government to account, and not just for ourselves, but also for our communities.
Emily Bradbury, executive director of the Kansas Press Association, and attorney Max Couch say journalists are protected by federal law against searches and seizures, and it usually takes a subpoena to obtain documents. The newspaper requested the original affidavit.
Affidavit on which the search warrant was based has not been disclosed. There's a Kansas law that's been in effect since 2014 that presumes disclosure of such affidavits once those warrants are executed. The journalists who were in town yesterday tried to get a copy of that affidavit from the clerk, which is by law the custodian of that record after it's been executed, and the clerk did not have a copy of that.
Bradbury says the fight isn't over for the Marion County Record.
There is a group of people standing beside the Marion County Record. They're not going to be alone in this. This isn't over. And like I said, we're going to try to hold those responsible for this action accountable, and make sure that people know that this is not something that will be tolerated.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in the four-state region, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. It's time for Chiefs football. They played the Saints yesterday. We'll have the results of their game in sports. Plus, why reducing social media use could also help lower depression. And we'll take a look at the calm after early morning storms with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are back on Sunday afternoon. The Chiefs played their first organized game since winning Super Bowl 57. It was quite a roller coaster of a game from start to finish. So let's get right to it. Chiefs at Saints in New Orleans, week 1 of the preseason. First quarter, got no score. Former Raiders quarterback Derek Carr finds Alvin Kamara on the screen pass as Kamara trots down out of bounds at the 5-yard line. That sets up this play. Carr to the back of the end zone. He finds Keith Kirkwood for the touchdown. Slow start for the Chiefs defense. Goes 7-0 Saints. First Chiefs possession. Mahomes with a bootleg to the hometown kid, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Picks up 12 yards. First down, KC. Later in the drive, Mahomes keeps it. Slides inches short of the first down marker. Chiefs fail to convert the fourth down. Mahomes only goes for one drive, 2 for 2 for 15 yards. Second quarter, 17-0 Saints. New backup quarterback and former Mizzou Tiger Blaine Gabbert finds Richie James for the touchdown. Chiefs on the board, down 17-7. Fast forward to the end of the third, Chiefs down 17-14. Shane Buechele stumbling around. Then he finds Keoa Crawford for the touchdown. Mahomes loves that. However, Chiefs fall short due to a late turnover. Saints pick up the win to beat the Chiefs 26-24.
It was good to get a game in. The ones, we got to pick up the tempo there, both sides of the ball. Not good enough. So we've got some things to work on there. It was good to get the young guys in. I thought they actually played pretty good. The 2s and the 3s. Some good things from really all the different positions, being able to come back.
Just a little scramble drill, and the guys did a good job of working for me. Just playing football, man. Just playing football, and I have a good example in front of me where I get to watch him make plays. And so Koa and Crawford made a great play on that catch, and just playing football.
We're a little over 2 weeks away until the Missouri Southern Lions kick off their season at home against Northwest Missouri State. Now the Lions went 4-7 a year ago. 3 of their losses were one-score games. Wide receiver Jaden Stashak and head coach Atiba Bradley addressed what they plan to do differently in those close games for the upcoming 2023 season.
You know, a simple holding call, situational football, simple holding call in the second quarter versus a holding call in the fourth quarter that might be for your game-winning drive can just be completely different calls. You'll see them completely different because you only have 2-3 minutes left. So I think eliminating those small errors will be big for us.
And what you realize is up by 14, down by 14, you always have an opportunity to win the football game. And so I think going into this season, our mindset is just in a much better place to handle those type of close games.
Well, we're still a year away from the Olympic Games, but that's not stopping Team USA to compete in basketball for the FIBA World Cup. A collection of NBA players prepare to compete for the FIBA tournament later this month. On Sunday, Team USA met Spain for an exhibition game. USA takes on number 1 ranked Spain in Malaga. First quarter, USA up by 3. Jaren Jackson with the block. Brandon Ingram slams it home on the other end. 15-10 USA. Late second quarter, U.S. up by 8. Former Oklahoma Sooner Austin Reeves with the two-handed jam. U.S. goes into halftime up by 10. Late second half now, U.S. up by 6. And Anthony Edwards with the up and under to go up by 8. A couple of possessions later, Edwards is going to get the block, fast break, and then the slam. And USA is going to hang on to win this one over Spain, 98-88. Well, still to come, a 1,500-year-old village has been uncovered in Mexico City. Plus, we got another check of that pretty decent Monday forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, now turning to 5:17 on this Monday morning. Much needed rainfall out there. However, we have another number of flood warnings and flood advisories across parts of southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma. You've got to watch out there, and you can see those flood advisories line up with where the heaviest rain has fallen in this kind of boomerang shape here. So on average, we've picked up about 3.5 inches of rain in this red box, which you can kind of see the red box we drew. But some of these areas here, we're talking anywhere 4 to 10 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. So much needed rain. We're not complaining about that. We absolutely needed the rain. The problem is we got a lot of it in short order, and it has led to some flooding concerns. So make sure you remember, turn around, don't drown, especially at this hour of the day. If you see water over a roadway, don't risk it. Just turn around, find an alternate route. I think your boss will understand if you're a pinch late, because I think they'd rather you were late than you get swept away in floodwaters. Showers and a few thunderstorms still continuing to roll on out of the area. You can see we're starting to just get into some shower activity out there. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line, showing these wet roadways in Joplin and rain falling on the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue south of Pittsburgh, and on our camera at 7th and Range line. 70 in Joplin, so got some light rain falling out there. Temperatures this morning really good, and they will stay that way for a little bit. 68 Iola, 69 Parsons, 72 Miami, and 70 Neosho and Carthage. Well, a few showers hanging through about 8 o'clock, then we'll start to clear out, and we're in the low 70s by late morning, which means our highs today well below average. We're talking 10 to 12 degrees below average as we go into the upper 70s. Mostly clear skies, maybe a couple of lower 80-degree readings out there, but still pleasant. Look at this evening, 69 by 8, 66 by 10. Overnight lows, low 60s, maybe even some upper 50s. We get the upper 50s tomorrow. We're still in the upper 70s for highs. Then we start to warm up a bit, low 80s, so still below average by Wednesday. Unfortunately, it will not take long for summertime to return to the area as temperatures begin to soar back into the upper 90s and into the lower 100s heading into this weekend. So be sure to enjoy the next couple of days with these pleasant temperatures. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, visiting the Grand Canyon could become more dangerous in the future. A new study found extreme heat will significantly increase the risk of heat-related illness for the millions of people who visit the national park. In a scenario of high planet warming pollution, by 2100, there could be up to 254 heat-related illnesses at the park each year. For perspective, heat is suspected to have killed 16 people at the Grand Canyon since 2007, and these estimates could be low. The data used in the study only looked at people who were treated in the park. Across the country and at national parks, suspected heat deaths are on the rise. And states across the country are bracing for a possible trifecta of respiratory viruses this fall. We are talking about COVID-19, the flu, and RSV. Major pharmacy chains have already started rolling out appointments for flu and RSV vaccines, and an updated COVID-19 booster could be ready by the end of next month. The message from health officials: get your vaccines early. We know just how addicting and tempting scrolling through our phones can be, but cutting your time on social can actually help reverse depression symptoms. Researchers in London found breaking free from social media dependence can positively affect people struggling with depressive thoughts. The team says tackling the problematic use of social media alongside therapy helps patients. They analyzed the data from more than 20 studies involving participants from all over the world, and they found 70% reported notable differences after cutting social media. Analysts say they hope their findings will help create better regulations for social media use. And good news for health nuts: eating just one kind of nut could help you in 2 areas of your health. Researchers at Texas A&M University say eating pecans could help people with either obesity and inflammation problems. The scientists say that pecans are a type of superfood that help maintain body weight and fight against diabetes, even when people have a high-fat diet. Pecans were also shown to have anti-inflammatory properties. And eating your greens might have been beneficial for you, but new research shows they can also help your lungs. Leafy greens like broccoli and spinach are rich in vitamin K, which is known to help play a key role in helping the body heal wounds and building healthy bones. But scientists in Denmark found that the vitamin also influences respiratory health. After studying the data of nearly 4,100 people between 24 and 77 years old, researchers found people with low levels of vitamin K were more likely to have poor lung function and suffer from diseases like asthma, wheezing, and even chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And being a patient in a hospital isn't easy. Some are hurting physically, others can struggle with their own mental health. But a pastor who works at one U.S. hospital says he's bringing comfort and solace to patients and staff with his voice. Manny Gather has more on the story.
For Reverend Chris Kayampa, going to work means sharing 2 things he loves: his faith and his music.
I'm just singing.
For the past decade at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Kayampa has clocked in for work with a guitar in hand.
It touches people in a way that maybe other ways of communicating with folks don't.
He projects lyrics and allows patients on various hospital floors to pick what they'd like to hear from a list of more than 180 songs.
I have seen folks who were, just tired and just ready to kind of give up, get a little extra kick in their step from singing a good old Beatles song.
From hymns to punk rock, Kayampa says he sings all genres and allows patients to add songs to his list, with some exceptions.
Sometimes I get some suggestions that the chaplain probably ought not sing.
He says the songs of encouragement are the most requested.
Whether it's, a hymn like Amazing Grace, or whether it's, hey, Jude, don't make it bad, make it better.
His work isn't just about music. He says it's about acknowledging that what these patients are going through is hard.
To help life be a little bit better, even if it's only for 45 minutes, it's still a little better at that moment.
In addition to singing to patients, the pastor also provides chaplain services to the emergency department for codes and trauma. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Well, after a busy night with strong to severe thunderstorms across the area, we are beginning to clear out. We got some much needed rainfall. We'll take a look at how much rain we got, some of those storm reports, and what the rest of our day looks like when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, Arma, Kansas celebrates its 77th homecoming at VJ Day.
And after a night of strong to severe thunderstorms, we are beginning to clear out, and we've got an absolutely beautiful Monday ahead of us. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, it was time for the GOAT Show at the Crawford County Fair in Girard, Kansas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time is now 5:29 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So we did have some strong severe thunderstorms last night.
It was
across
pretty
the
bad, and
area.
even into early this morning, it was still downpour raining. So
Yeah,
how
we
much
had
longer do we have to endure this?
Very heavy rain across the area. The good news is, here's the thing. We needed the rain. We absolutely needed the rain. The good news is no more severe weather, and we're going to start to see this rain taper off. The bad news with the rain is it has caused some flooding concerns across the area. So the last of the really heavy rain now out towards Springfield. We got a little bit trailing back toward Greenfield, south of Lamar, but not a lot. However, we do have flood warnings and flood advisories for a good portion of southwest Missouri and into northeastern Oklahoma, flood watches. And as we look at southeast Kansas, we have aerial flood warnings as well. So Fredonia, Neodesha, Chanute, Erie, you got to watch out there. Just on my drive into the station this morning with all that heavy rain, a road I usually take had some fair amount of water over it. And at this hour of the day, if you just see water over the roadway, your best bet is to turn around and find an alternate route. Remember, turn around, don't drown. We also had the wind damage reports up around Burlington in Coffee County. We had a wind gust of 60 around Chanute, wind damage in Ottawa County, back into parts of Jasper County. Some hail reports out there as well, and so we've got that to contend with. I know some folks are having to deal with that damage that the storms left behind. And a real quick recap on the rain we received. Over about 24 hours, we on average picked up about 3.5 inches within this red box. However, these darker colors, which line up with those flood advisories, we're talking anywhere from 4 to 10 inches of rainfall out there. Now, as mentioned, our Monday looks pretty good, and we'll have another full look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Chris. Well, a paper in Marion, Kansas was raided by police. We have the details on what happened to cause that raid. Kale Chapman has more on that story.
Here's a timeline of what we know so far. Marion police posted on Facebook August 1st at a public forum for Congressman Jake LaTurner. They raided a local restaurant, Carrie's Kitchen. Marion County record owner Eric Meyer says he and his staff were told to leave by the Marion police chief at the request of restaurant owner Carrie Newell. The next day, Meyer says one of the record's reporters received a Facebook message from a source about how Newell was driving without a license and had a prior DUI conviction. The paper says it looked into these claims because Newell was trying to get a liquor license. Kansas law says you can't have a felony DUI conviction to get one, and you must have a driver's license. Meyer says he sent a note with the record's findings to the Marion police chief on August 4th. Meyer says they didn't plan to publish those findings. City Vice Mayor Ruth Erbel then asked the record to send her the information they had because the City Council was set to vote on their approval of Newell's liquor license. The City Council approved the license in a 4-1 vote. At this meeting, Newell claims the record obtained her personal information illegally and shared it with Vice Mayor Erbel. In her official statement, Newell says she believes the paper accessed her information through a piece of mail from the Kansas Department of Revenue. She reported that to police. The record published an article about the accusations and the council meeting in that week's edition of the paper. Friday morning, Marion County Court Magistrate Judge Laura Vire signed a search warrant which alleges violations of identity theft and, quote, unlawful acts concerning computers. Authorities then raid Meyer's home, Erbel's home, and the Marion County Records Office, obtaining computers, cell phones, and reporting materials.
And Knoll Coffee Shop hosted a resume and job application assistance event on Saturday to support people losing their jobs due to the Tyson plant closure. They had drip coffee at no cost for those needing assistance and multiple computers set up in the shop. While the rain might have discouraged some people to show up, volunteer translators were in attendance to help with the applications.
I feel like this is a great opportunity for people. Like, this is big. Not a lot of people offer these assistances, and not a lot of people know how to make a resume or how to apply.
I feel like a lot of people are afraid to ask for help, and we're here, you know, and it's a friendly face. We speak the same language, and we get it. We can connect to you guys because we live here and we're all going through it.
Tyson Foods announced plans to close its poultry processing plant in October. In Knoll, about 1,500 workers will be laid off. The Common Cup's resume and job application help event will happen every Saturday until the plant's closure in October. Next weekend, it starts at 7 a.m. And on Wednesday, the McDonald County Chamber of Commerce will host a resource and career fair in support of the Tyson employee who received their notices of job loss. For more information, go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. ARMA VJ homecoming celebrations continued yesterday in ARMA City Park. Among this weekend's festivities was a bocce ball tournament where teams of all ages competed for a cash prize and gift certificates to Chicken Mary's. Plus a junior bathing suit beauty contest where boys and girls 6 months to 3 years of age competed for a trophy.
It makes me feel proud. I know they're both really cute, but all the babies are really cute. And I'm just happy they had a chance to be in something and have their face shown around town.
This was the 77th annual celebration for ARMA. And the Crawford County Fairgrounds hosted their goat show, sponsored by the American Boer Goat Association. Goat classes range from 0 to 3 months and up to 3 to 5 years old. The goat handlers also vary in ages, from small children to seniors. The handlers can also earn points that count towards the American Goat Association.
The American Boer Goat Association has a set of standards on color patterns, structure-wise, bone structure, overall body capacity. So the judges, they've got to study, they've got to know their goats and the Boer goats to come out and be judges here. So they're looking at the standard.
This will be the 10th annual year for the Fairgrounds Goat Show. And on Saturday, Joplin Schools hosted a school bus camp for incoming kindergartners and first graders. The goal of the camp is to get the kids familiar with the school bus before their first day. During the camp, the kiddos and their parents get to ride in a school bus, grab free school supplies, and talk to Buster.
First thing we teach them is when they enter the bus, they use the handrail, and they always have to sit. They always have to keep their pockets in the seat.
They're learning lots of bus safety, how to cross the street properly, wait for the bus driver's signal to move forward, and safety on the bus. So sometimes kids don't understand that there are rules when they get on the bus as far as being, aware of themselves and others.
Bus Camp also offered free finger painting and ID cards sponsored for MoChip. Many local churches were brought to Central Christian Center for a school supply giveaway on Saturday. Each church donated backpacks, pencils, crayons, and more, while some parents also donated supplies. Their goal is to not only bless the children's school year, but also to bring the community together.
Definitely helps because it's costly for them to go back to school. So with the programs, it is very beneficial not only for us but for other families, and we really appreciate it.
This is the first year I've donated instead of getting donations. So it means a lot because I know how hard it is for especially 2 children. I couldn't imagine having any more, and the list keeps growing and growing. So it feels really good to be able to bless another family.
The giveaway had over 200 kids registered and even more in attendance. Teachers across Missouri are getting ready for school. Many start their classes a week from today. One teacher who is just starting in education is already navigating the challenges of a brand new school year, this time in the front of the class. Marina Silva has her story.
We try really hard to push a love for reading at a young age.
Presley Hawkins has her classroom nearly ready to go for the start of the school year.
I grew up in Lebanon, and my mom taught kindergarten here at the same building, so I grew up always seeing her and, loving it and helping set up in the summers. And
this is her very first classroom, and she's been working to get it finished.
It's difficult. You got to kind of find a mixture of course, classroom environment is important, so making sure you get all the educational materials you need, but also the things to make it homey and welcoming and comfortable.
Hawkins had help getting everything she needs.
I was really blessed with, I did an Amazon wish list, and I had a lot of people in the community send things in for me off my list, so that really helped.
Like many teachers, Hawkins had her moments of doubt before her career choice.
And so when I went to pick my university and I talked to the head of education there, she just kind of said you gotta think about what you want, the impact versus the money and versus things like that and your faith and all those things. And so kind of directed me in that.
She's happy about her choice, but nervous.
I'm nervous I'm going to forget something that's important.
For those students who will have Mrs. Hawkins,
I love them no matter what. First grade is a really big year for growth. Like there's a lot that comes at you, and they're going to be so different by the end.
And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. One Arizona teen receives her college degree, and here's the catch. She doesn't even have her driver's license yet. Plus, the Leaning Tower of Pisa celebrates its 850th birthday as a staple monument. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, 1 person killed and 8 others were injured when a gunman opened fire at a prominent shrine in southern Iran on Sunday. Officials offered no immediate motive for the attack in the city of Shiraz. Shah Siraj is one of Iran's top 5 Shiite shrines. Shiite pilgrims make their way to its domed mosque and pay their respects at the tomb of a prominent member of their faith. No group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack. The shrine was seen of another deadly attack last October, which left 13 people dead. The Islamic State claimed responsibility for that attack. And there were some tense moments in Paris on Saturday when the Eiffel Tower and its surroundings had to be evacuated following a bomb threat. The action was a precautionary measure, and authorities later deemed it a false alarm and allowed people back into the area. Tourists visit the area in droves during the peak summer season. Some were annoyed by the 2-hour closure as they waited in a long line for it all cleared. And last month, the Indian government announced an abrupt ban on exporting non-basmati white rice, which includes varieties flavored by South Indian communities. The move has raised fears of destabilizing rice supplies in certain parts of the world and reportedly sent some of us shoppers into panic buying mode. On July 20th, India's government announced that it would stop exporting non-basmati white rice, effective immediately. The move was designed to help lower rice prices and secure availability in India, according to the government. Exports of parboiled rice, which has been partially boiled, and basmati rice are still allowed. And the Leaning Tower of Pisa, one of the most popular landmarks in the world, is now a staple monument. As the famous bell tower celebrates its 850th birthday, experts affirm that its future is bright. Satellite and terrestrial surveillance keep tabs on even the slightest shift in its position, making it one of the most monitored monuments in the world. That's a different scenario from what was seen in the early 90s when the tower reached a lean of 4.5 degrees. After an international effort to stop it from toppling over, the inclination was decreased and returned to that of the early 19th century. And researchers have discovered the fossil that may be the smallest whale species known to science. According to a new study, the fossil was discovered about 25 miles away from the Wadi al-Hitan World Heritage Site in Egypt, and it dates back to about 41 million years. The fossil has been dubbed Tuxetus ryanensis. It was named after Pharaoh Tutankhamun, also known as King Tut. The whale is estimated to have weighed over 400 pounds and was only 8 feet long. This is comparable in size to a modern-day bottlenose dolphin. And archaeologists have uncovered the lost remains of a village in Mexico City. Based on the ceramics found around the site, experts date the village to around 450 to 650 AD. That makes it to be about 1,500 years old. According to Mexico's National Institute of History and Anthropology, several remnants of buildings were found within the settlement. 3 bodies, 1 child and 2 adults, were also discovered. Archaeologists believe the village may have housed a community of fishermen and gatherers, as well as artisans. And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:47 now on this Monday. So quick recap, we had the strong severe thunderstorms overnight last night and did have some wind damage reports up in Coffee County, Jasper County, and Ottawa counties from that. We had wind gusts as high as about 74 miles an hour from some of this. And then we've got this boomerang shape of heavy rain. So on average, in this red box we've drawn on here, we've picked up about 3.5 inches of rain on the average in this box. But with this boomerang shape, which by the way is where all of our flood advisories are following, is right along this path, we've had anywhere from 4 to 10 inches of rain within the last 24 hours. So we absolutely needed that rain. We need more rain, but this has been fantastic. The problem is it's leading to some serious flooding concerns. So if you're driving around, you're heading to work, wherever you may be commuting to, if you see water over the roadway, please remember, turn around, don't drown. It's not worth it. Take some extra time to get where you're going. Do not try and drive through flooded areas. As we look at Skywatch Storm Tracker over the last few hours, you can see where we had that last batch of really heavy rainfall across the area, and now it's beginning to clear out. Still got a few stray showers out there, but otherwise not bad. It is raining in Joplin. MoDOT camera 20th in range line, showing those wet roadways. Raining up around the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue just south of Pittsburgh, and also raining on our camera here at 7th in range line. You can see that clearly. We're at 70 in Joplin, and we have an absolutely wonderful day ahead of us once the rain clears out. We've got 67 Iola, lots of 70s on the board in Chanute, Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Nevada, Carthage, Neosho, 72 Miami, and 68 Neodesha and Independence. We'll have a few more showers hanging on through about 8 o'clock or so, and then we'll see the last of those exit. Skies will begin to clear, and we're going to go into the low 70s by late morning. As we head into the afternoon, we don't do too much warming. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. Mostly clear skies. Beautiful day. We're talking upper 70s, maybe a couple of lower 80-degree readings across the area. And then we head through the evening. Great evening to open the windows, sit on the porch, do outdoor activities, whatever the case may be. As we've got partly cloudy skies, 69 at 8, 66 by 10. Overnight lows right around 60. And some of us, especially our northern counties, could easily fall back into the 50s. Here in the middle of August, back into the 50s. So we weren't kidding around. We told you this was a pretty potent cold front, and by golly, it was. It brought us, unfortunately, strong severe thunderstorms. It did bring us a lot of much needed rainfall, and it brought us a much needed break from the heat, even though unfortunately it's going to be short lived. We're going to go upper 70s tomorrow, and again back into the 50s Tuesday night. We're doing low 80s Wednesday, so again, not a bad day there. Then by Thursday, it starts to get a little hotter. We go low 90s. And then as we head into Friday, we're talking upper 90s, and we head into this upcoming weekend. We're dry, we're hot, partly cloudy, into the triple digits, and we stay hot and sunny as we head into the upcoming work week out there. So make sure that you enjoy today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, because the heat will be right back on as we head into the end of this week. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
One Arizona teen just received a college degree before even getting her driver's license. The 16-year-old graduate from Arizona State University's Accelerated Nursing Program. She and the other students were honored with a celebration Thursday afternoon. Michael Raimondi has more.
These students are celebrating after studying through the summer.
Serena Burkhoff.
In the room are families and friends supporting each graduate. One of them is younger than the rest by far.
Eliana Tenenbaum.
Despite being a few years younger than her classmates,
most of my peers do know I've been unconditionally accepted.
16-year-old Eliana Tenenbaum now has a bachelor's degree.
I'm incredibly excited. I think it's a culmination of all the dedication put into this program and to nursing as a profession.
Her father, Stephen, is a doctor, and from a young age, Eliana learned about the medical field. She decided to take college courses while in high school, which put her way ahead.
It wasn't about what age I wanted to do something or in what amount of time, but really I knew that this is the right pathway for me and why hold myself back when I could get started.
Her father said at 14, she was studying for classes he took in his 20s. He's impressed and proud.
Her ability to learn things is very impressive. Her ability to dedicate herself and work hard is amazing.
Tonight they're celebrating Eliana's achievement, and she's already thinking about her next move.
I've already begun applying for some nursing jobs, but in the very near future, I hope to pursue a path as a doctor of nursing practice.
All right, go ASU Sun Devils. Well, Eliana has her new driver's permit, but she'll still need a ride to work when she gets her job. We'll be right back after this. The James Webb Space Telescope has given scientists more information about the most distant star ever detected. This is Arendelle. It's about 28 billion light years away, 1 million times brighter than the sun, and twice as hot. The light the telescope saw from the star was emitted within the first billion years of the universe. For context, the universe is thought to be about 13.8 billion years old. The only reason Earthanol is visible at all is because a massive galaxy cluster between us and Arendelle magnified its light through gravitational lensing. The telescope also detected colors that suggested Arendelle has a cool red companion star. just as most other B-type stars have. Arundel resides in what we will call the Sunrise Arc galaxy. And some kittens and cats are helping yogis in New Delhi, India, mastering their poses. Yoga lovers take an hour-long break from their daily life to gather in a studio for the Paw Hour. It's an initiative to encourage pet adoption and help people to relax from the stress of life. Cats get to wander the room and sometimes play with the practitioners. The Yoga Paw Hour produces some smiles and laughs in cats on mats, and after every session, there's lots of requests about adopting them as pets.
After these morning showers clear out, we have a beautiful Monday ahead of us. They'll hold on through about 8 o'clock, and we'll start to clear our skies. We'll go into the low 70s by late morning as we head into the afternoon. A beautiful day out there. Mostly clear skies, upper 70s, so 10 to 12 degrees below where we should be. Could see a couple of low 80s out there, but even then, that's still not bad at all. Falling back through the 60s into the evening hours, partly cloudy, and then overnight, we'll go back to mostly clear skies and right around 60, but some of us could get into the upper 50s tonight. 50s in the middle of August. This nice weather continues tomorrow and Wednesday as we go upper 70s, low 80s. Another round of maybe lows back into the 50s for August. And enjoy it while you can, because as you see, summer will return. We go back in the low 90s by Thursday, upper 90s Friday. And as we head into the upcoming weekend, partly cloudy skies and back, unfortunately, to the triple digits. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Right now at 6, a Knoll coffee shop hosts an event to help Tyson workers.
And still a few light showers out there after a night of strong to severe thunderstorms. We'll talk about the forecast and how today is looking coming up.
Plus, a multi-vehicle crash on Claremore, Oklahoma claims the life of a woman.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've had a rough night of strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. Yes. And I know a lot of folks, a pretty spooky night for a lot of us. The good news is we didn't see anything significant, but we did get some damage reports across the area. We'll take a look at those. Quick look, Skywatch Storm Tracker. Still a few showers hanging on out there. Again, the heavier rain, which is still even then only moderate, up around the Greenfield area. We do have flood warnings and flood advisories into southwest Missouri, and we still have flood watches in these darker green colors, which do still include northeast Oklahoma. And then we've got these aerial flood warnings in southeast Kansas, so Fredonia, Neodesha, Chanute, Erie, Stark. You've got to make sure as you're commuting this morning in any of these areas, if you see water over the roadway, turn around, don't drown. That's exactly what we mean. Just find an alternate route. It's better you're late to where you're going than you just never getting there at all. Quick look at reports from last night. Again, these brown circles are wind damage reports. Coffee County, just southwest of Burlington, some wind damage reports. Most of these are trees and power lines that were down from the wind. Heading into southwest Missouri with some hail reports around Monette and just west of Neosho as well. Wind gusts southwest of Monette around 64 miles an hour, and around Chanute around 60 miles an hour. And up by the Burlington, I may have gotten those backwards. Up around the Burlington area, though, wind gusts as high as 74 miles an hour reported. Then within this red box, this is our rainfall, and the red box is averaging the rainfall accumulation within that at about 3.5 inches in the last 24 hours. But where we had those flood advisories, notice how they kind of follow that same path that this little boomerang shape of heavier rain follows. And in some of these colors, we've got rainfall totals out there anywhere from 4 to 10 inches within the last 24 hours. So some absolutely much needed rainfall. Again, the problem is it's led to some flooding concerns across the area for our Monday morning. Now the showers will continue to kick on out of here, and then our Monday actually looks pretty phenomenal as we've got temperatures only into the upper 70s. We'll take a full look at your forecast and how the rest of this week is shaping up and when the heat returns, unfortunately, here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, a driver loses control of his pickup truck and ends up in a spring-fed pond. The accident happened on Sunday afternoon around 3:30 near Racine, Missouri. Authorities say a Ford F-150 was traveling west on Highway 86 and turned left to leave the highway and took out a large tree and overturned into a spring-fed pond. The driver was arrested and charged with a DWI. And a semi overturned Sunday morning near Neosho while carrying 35,000 pounds of fresh eggs. It happened at about 9:30 a.m. on State Route D east of Crowder College. Authorities say the truck was driving west when it dropped tires, and to the right it overturned. The driver was not injured. A portion of I-44 in Jasper County was blocked Sunday morning because of a boat. Jasper County authorities were alerted around 7:30 a.m. They say traffic was backed up for about a mile and a half after a pickup hauling the boat jackknifed, throwing the boat off the trailer and into the roadway. Traffic resumed as normal around 9 a.m. And a multiple vehicle crash in Claremore, Oklahoma, claims the life of a woman. It happened Saturday south of 450 Road. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol is still investigating the cause of the crash. However, they have said it involved 3 vehicles. The driver of one, 42-year-old Mercy Ogallo, was killed, and a passenger in her vehicle was injured, as were the drivers of the other 2 vehicles. A Knoll coffee shop hosted a resume and job application assistance event to support people losing their jobs because of Tyson's plant closure.
Growing up in Knoll, Erica Medina feels like her family's life was once centered around Tyson. Her parents worked there for years, and still today, her grandmother is an employee of the company. Erica knows she's one of many in Knoll.
Most of the community, if you go and ask around, they have either a family member, a friend, or just somebody they know that works at Tyson's, since Knoll is just like such a heavy town, like based on Tyson's.
Tyson Foods announced plans to close its poultry processing plant in Knoll in October. In the southwest Missouri town, about 1,500 workers will lose their jobs. To try to help those impacted by the closure of the plant, the Common Cup, a Knoll coffee shop, is hosting a resume and job application help event. They had free drip coffee available to those needing assistance and multiple computers set up in the shop. Erica offered her time and knowledge. She served as a translator in the workshop, as many of Tyson's employees don't have English as their first language.
It's my community, it's my people. I grew up here, I went to school here, and I still live here. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I want to do something to help. Maybe I can't do much, but the things that I can do, I'm going to try.
While the rain might have discouraged some people to show up and ask for help, Abigail Dozal, another Spanish-speaking volunteer, was also available to offer support.
It's going to affect everybody in this town, and I feel that there's only one way to get through this, and it's if everybody comes together to move on from this.
Tyson's announcement also is near to her heart.
My mom works there, so I feel that I am a part of this. And, you grow up here and you hate to see, this town to fall apart.
The coffee shop on Noel's Main Street will hold resume and job application assistance events every Saturday until the plant's closure. In Noel, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
This upcoming Saturday, the Common Cup's resume and job application help event will start at 7 a.m. Also this week on Wednesday, the McDonald County Chamber of Commerce will host a resource and career fair in support of the Tyson employees who received their notices of job loss. For more information, go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in the 4-state region. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Say at least 93 people have died in the last week's deadly wildfires on the Hawaiian island of Maui. Plus, California regulators give the green line for the expansion of driverless taxi services in San Francisco. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Monday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first here's a live look from Lincoln Park in honor of the upcoming back-to-school event happening today. Topping Nation Watch this morning, California regulators gave the green light for the expansion of driverless taxi services in San Francisco. The State Public Utilities Commission gave its approval Thursday to 2 robo-taxi companies, Cruise and Waymo, to operate their driverless cars 24/7 across all of the city and charge passengers for their services. Cruise is a subsidiary of General Motors, and Waymo is owned by Google's parent company, Alphabet. The much-anticipated vote followed roughly 6 hours of public comments, both for and against driverless taxis. Law enforcement associations and a firefighter association are concerned that autonomous vehicles could impede emergency responders. And a school district in Farmington, Utah will pay $2 million to the family of a black autistic girl who died by suicide in 2021. The family of Izzy Tichenor claimed the 10-year-old was bullied by her classmates because of her race and disability. An independent investigation commissioned by the Davis School District found she had been mistreated but could not confirm whether it was due to her race or disability. Its reports showed that the school did not investigate bullying allegations in a timely manner. In a joint statement with Izzy's family, the district said Izzy's loss will always impact their community and school. The district also said it's committed to making its schools safe for all and will make sure reports of bullying are thoroughly documented, addressed promptly, and that are appropriately consequences. The district also announced an official apology and a separate $200,000 settlement with 3 students who alleged discrimination. The new College of Florida Board of Trustees has made a move towards ending its gender studies major. The board approved a motion to get rid of the area of study Thursday. The motion does not immediately terminate the program, and regulations require that the Board of Governors give input and that they all comply with collective bargaining agreements. The vote is part of recent actions taken to reshape new colleges in a more conservative direction under a push from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The current director of the Gender Studies program called the vote a substantive attack on our academic program. No word on whether the board will vote again before the program is eliminated. And Hawaii's governor now says at least 93 people have died in last week's deadly wildfires on the Hawaiian island of Maui, with that number expected to keep climbing as search and rescue teams work their way through devastated areas. Hundreds of people are missing and even more than 2,700 structures have been destroyed. CBS News' Jessica Cartahilia is there with the latest, including a story from one survivor who narrowly escaped the flames.
Search and rescue teams are going door to door in hard-hit Lahaina, with dozens confirmed dead and hundreds missing after last week's tragic wildfires.
Our people are suffering, and we continue to work to find them.
I heard terrifying screams.
Lahaina resident Craig Bradley captured this video of the fire before escaping his home.
I saw it going up, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. And that's when I ran back to my house and threw a few more things in my car.
With flames moving closer, Bradley says he rescued 2 people who were also trying to get away on a motorcycle.
Like, motorcycle won't start. And so there's a chance that if I hadn't been there at that moment and waited till that last second, I wouldn't have been able to save my 2 friends.
Here in Kihei, donations are being collected to help the thousands who have been displaced and are now relying on shelters to get by.
This is all we got right now, and donations.
This man and his family now live in an encampment after losing their apartment, but they hope to return home.
I'm going to try my best to find a way to stay in the town where I'm from, the place that I love.
Officials estimate the recovery will cost more than $5 billion, but that doesn't account for the emotional toll of what's being called the largest natural disaster in the state's history. Jessica Cartalia, CBS News, Maui.
Hawaii's Attorney General announced an investigation into the decision-making and policies leading up to and during and even after the fire. It comes after residents have criticized local county officials, saying they weren't told to evacuate until it was too late. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we still have a few stray showers across the area after a tumultuous night of strong to severe thunderstorms. We're going to take a look at that forecast, the rain we've received, and how the rest of the week is shaping up when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 6:17 on this 6:17 now on this Monday morning. Quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and you can see where we still have a few showers trailing across the region after a night of strong to severe thunderstorms. And because of all the rain we received, we have flood warnings and flood advisories for most of southwest Missouri, flood watches as well. And then we have an aerial flood warning in southeast Kansas and through 9 a.m. So Fredonia, Neodesha, Chanute, Erie. If you are out driving this morning and you come across the roadway with water over it, just turn around. Don't drown. That's why we say that. Just take a little extra time to get where you're going, because it's better you get there alive than not getting there at all. Don't chance it with those floodwaters out there. We also had a number of storm reports last night. So again, the brown circles are wind damage reports. The green circles are just measured wind gust reports, and the blue circles are hail reports. So we'll start in southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma. We got most of these, in fact, just about all of these are tree and power line damage in Ottawa County and Jasper County. We had 61-mile wind wind gusts southwest of Monette. Some hail reports north of Monette and around Neosho. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts rather in Chanute. And up by the Burlington area, got some intense winds up there. Some of these wind gusts upwards of 74 miles an hour. In terms of the rain, within this red box, an average of just about 3.5 inches. But you remember those flood advisories we showed you just a second ago? Notice how they seem to follow also where we received the heaviest rain. And in these pinks and purples and blues here, we are talking anywhere from 4 to 10 inches of rainfall in the last 24 hours. So again, we absolutely needed this rain, but it saturated the ground so much, and we do have some flooding concerns out there, so do be careful. As you see, we've got that trailing line of showers out there, and that is the last of the rain activity for the rest of today, and we've got a really pleasant Monday out there. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line. We're looking at wet roads, and we're looking at that in Pittsburgh as well from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. And I'm going to step back because you can usually see in the light if it is still raining. It's difficult to see, but the airport's still reporting rain and 70 degrees in Joplin. Around the area, temperatures aren't bad. 67 Iola, 69 Chanute, Parsons, Pittsburgh, 72 Miami, and 70 in Neosho. And as we go through the morning, a few of these showers hanging on maybe through about 8 o'clock or so. And then we'll start to clear out. We'll go into the low 70s by late morning. Our highs today for the middle of August, this is great. 10 to 12 degrees below where we should be. So we go into the upper 70s under mostly clear skies. Could have a couple of lower 80-degree readings out there, but even that is still well below average for this time of year. We fall back to the 60s heading into the evening. Partly cloudy skies, and we'll clear out again overnight. Mostly clear. Lows back around 60, which means some of us could get back into the 50s tonight. And this is August, and we're talking overnight lows in the 50s out there. So enjoy this. The nice temperatures continue tomorrow and into Wednesday. Upper 70s, low 80s, back into the 50s again tomorrow night, which is just fantastic. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, it's still the middle of August. It's still the middle of summer. And we're not done with the heat yet, unfortunately. We get to Thursday, we go into the low 90s. By Friday, we're upper 90s. As we head into the weekend, we go back into the triple digits, and we'll hold on to triple digits, upper 90s through the weekend and as we head into the next work week as well. Under sunny and hot conditions. I'm getting my letters all mixed up. So we have got hot weather returning, so enjoy the next couple of days while you can, because summer is still on across the area. And of course, that also means the opportunities to open the windows at night will go away as well as we get back close to 80 for overnight lows. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, researchers are reporting an increase in cases of leprosy in the United States. Cases have been more than doubled in the last decade in the Southeast. While health officials say the risk to people is low, many are taking precautions. CBS's Christian Benavides reports from Davie, Florida.
Yamil Moya is being extra cautious at work these days. He's an armadillo trapper in Florida.
You can see how jumpy they can get.
The creatures in the south are carriers of the bacteria that can cause leprosy, what's known as Hansen's disease.
We have more exposure to these animals than anybody else does.
Our paper is not designed to sow fear.
Dermatologists Dr. Charles Dunn and Dr. Rajiv Nathu authored this research letter to the CDC, citing that Central Florida accounted for 81% of leprosy cases reported in the state, and nearly 1 out of 5 cases nationwide. In 2020, 159 cases of leprosy were reported across the U.S.
We did notice a slight uptick in the last decade or so in the numbers reported in Florida. But again, low numbers, hard to catch, and majority of the population have a immunity.
Researchers reported on a recent case of a 54-year-old landscaper who had not traveled outside of Florida and had no contact with armadillos.
Leprosy likes to involve the skin, but also the peripheral nerves.
They hope to raise awareness about the disease, which is treatable and curable if caught early.
There's this idea that it's a biblical disease. The fact is actually we've had annual cases of leprosy for a long time now.
While the risk is low, the CDC recommends avoiding contact with armadillos.
The best thing to do with that kind of problem is just get rid of them.
Moya suggests leaving it up to the experts for your garden and your health. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Davie, Florida.
Leprosy treatment can last from 6 to 12 months and include a regimen of antibiotics. It can take years for symptoms to develop. And scientists in Canada found the spread of the Omicron variant helped many people acquire immunity to SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. Data published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal shows that 75% of the population had COVID antibodies by March 2023 from a mixture of vaccination and exposure, but they say antibody levels may diminish over time. And surgery could dramatically reduce alcohol use for chronic heavy drinkers. In a study published in the Journal of Natural Medicine, researchers implanted gene therapy in the brains of monkeys. They say it effectively reset the monkey's dopamine reward system and reduced alcohol consumption by more than 90%. The approach could potentially be used for the most severe human cases of alcohol use disorder. And more research on the risk of tackle football shows it could increase the risk of Parkinson's disease. Researchers at the Boston University School of Medicine evaluated 1,800 male athletes and found those who played organized tackle football were 61% more likely to report a Parkinson's diagnosis. Players with longer careers at the college and professional level had an even higher odds. The researchers say that more work needs to be done to understand why and to confirm the findings. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, and we've got the last of the showers rolling out of here after some very heavy rainfall and some strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 6:30, Arma, Kansas celebrates its 77th homecoming, or BJ Day.
And we had some strong severe thunderstorms overnight, and we've had some heavy rain across the area. We're going to take a look at all of that coming up.
Plus, it was time for the GOAT Show at the Crawford County Fair in Girard, Kansas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6:29 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So we had some strong to severe thunderstorms across the area yesterday evening into the early overnight hours, and that also left behind a lot of heavy rainfall across the area.
Very dangerous this morning's commute.
Absolutely. My drive in, there were points where visibility was almost zero, and that was probably about 3:30 this morning, and it's also led to flooding concerns across the area. So here's a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. Still a few showers out there across the area, but again, we have those flooding concerns. We have flood warnings, flood advisories for a good portion of southwestern Missouri. We also have a flood watch that still is in effect for northeast Oklahoma, and then we head back to southeast Kansas, and we have an aerial flood warning for the areas including Chanute, Erie, Neodesha, Fredonia. This runs through 9. So as we've been telling you all morning, if you're driving out, you see water over a roadway, turn around. Don't drown. Don't chance it. Just take an alternate route. If it takes you a little longer to get where you're going, at least you get where you're going. In addition to the flooding concerns, again, strong severe thunderstorms out there, leaving behind a number of reports. Majority of the wind damage reports, which are those brown circles in Jasper and Ottawa counties, these are trees and power lines that were downed. We had some hail reports near Neosho and Monette, and near Monette, a 61-mile-an-hour wind gust, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust near Chanute, and up in Coffee County around the Burlington area, a number of trees and power lines down. The maximum wind gust up there that was reported was 74 miles an hour. In this red box, the average amount of rain we've picked up is about 3.5 inches, and that's nice to see on that average because traditionally, even when we get some thunderstorms, the average is less than an inch. So we got 3.5 inches on the average, but where those flood advisories are in this boomerang shape here, we are looking at rainfall accumulations that were anywhere from 4 to 10 inches, and in some locations, especially back in northeastern Oklahoma to the west of Grove, greater than 10 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. And that is incredible. We need that rain, but again, that's a lot of rain in a short period, and that's why we do have those flooding concerns out there. The showers will continue to push on off to the east as we head through the morning hours, and then we'll start to clear out behind that. We've got an absolutely beautiful Monday ahead of us. We'll take another full look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, Arma VJ homecoming celebrations continued yesterday in Arma City Park. Among last weekend's festivities was a bocce ball tournament where teams of all ages competed for a cash prize and gift certificates to Chicken Mary's. Plus, there was a junior bathing suit beauty contest where boys and girls 6 months to 3 years of age competed for a trophy.
It makes me feel proud. I know they're both really cute, but all the babies are really cute. And I'm just happy they had a chance to be in something and have their face shown around town.
This was the 77th annual celebration for ARMA. And the Crawford County Fairgrounds hosted their GOAT show, sponsored by the American Boar Goat Association. Goat classes range from 0 to 3 months and up to 3 to 5 years old. The goat handlers also varied in ages, from small children to seniors. The handlers can also earn points that count towards the American Goat Association.
The American Boar Goat Association has a set of standards on color patterns, structure-wise, bone structure, overall body capacity. So the judges, they've got to study, they've got to know their goats and the boar goats to come out and be judges here. So they're looking at the standard.
This will be the 10th annual year for the Goat Association. And Saturday, Joplin Schools hosted a school bus camp for incoming kindergartners and first graders. The goal of the camp is to get the kids familiar with the school bus before their first day. During the camp, the kiddos and their parents got to ride in a school bus, grab free school supplies, and talk to Buster.
First thing we teach them is when they enter the bus, they use the handrail, and they always have to sit. They always have to keep their pockets in the seat.
They're learning lots of bus safety, how to cross the street properly, wait for the bus driver's signal to move forward, and safety on the bus. Sometimes kids don't understand that there are rules when they get on the bus as far as being, aware of themselves and others.
Bus Camp also offered free fingerprinting and ID cards sponsored by MoChip. And many local churches were brought to Central Christian Center for a school supply giveaway on Saturday. Each church donated backpacks, pencils, crayons, and more, while some parents also donated supplies. Their goal is not to only bless the children's school year, but also to bring the community together.
Definitely helps because it's costly for them to go back to school. So with the programs, it is very beneficial not only for us but for other families, and we really appreciate it.
This is the first year I've donated instead of getting donations. So it means a lot because I know how hard it is for especially 2 children. I couldn't imagine having any more, and the list keeps growing and growing. So it feels really good to be able to bless another family.
The giveaway had over 200 kids registered and even more in attendance. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Some major updates to the pavilion where over 400,000 cream puffs are made every year.
Plus, we're continuing to watch the morning showers clear out. We've got a great day ahead of us. We'll take another look at that forecast when we come back. But first, we got ourselves a live look from Lincoln Park in honor of the upcoming back to school event. That is happening today.
In Consumer Watch this morning, some major updates to the pavilion where over 400,000 cream puffs are made every year. As their popularity continues, the state is investing some dough into the building they're made in. CBS 58's Stephanie Rodriguez explains.
Cream puffs have been called the heart and soul of the state fair. Thank you. And soon, some changes are coming to their headquarters.
During the run of the fair, during 11 days, we are the busiest bakery in the world. 400,000 cream puffs in 11 days.
For 99 years, cream puffs have been the center of the fair.
Every year I go to State Fair just to get a cream puff. It's definitely a staple for me and my family, so we grew up doing it, so I'm going to do it to this day.
It takes 4 hours to make one cream puff using the same recipe that fairgoers know and love.
It's the same process as when I was younger, just seeing them do the same exact thing in the same building. So I appreciate that, seeing the same thing every year.
Team Cream Puff tackles the hundreds of thousands of pastries every year, but they've outgrown their space.
They're in here for 3 hours at a time, maybe, filling puffs.
In 2017, $6 million were earmarked to renovate the Cream Puff Pavilion.
Puffs before people.
This year, an additional $6.5 million was approved in the state budget for the project.
They come out on the other end all sliced for us.
With changes to the assembly area and the commercial-grade bakery, the plan looks to improve aesthetics and productivity.
Look at all those happy cream puff lovers out there.
With a current sales average of $1.3 million annually, more staff and better crowd management is a priority, so more people can do this.
It's just a family tradition that stays. So well into the future, we're going to keep that tradition alive.
According to the original budget proposal, renovation could begin in March of next year. In West Allis, Stephanie Rodriguez, CBS 58 News.
Another hope with this renovation is to market the Cream Puff Pavilion as an event venue outside of the 11 days of the fair. And U.S. Steel Corporation has rejected a $7 billion buyout proposal from rival Cleveland Cliffs. In a statement announcing its offer, Cleveland Cliffs says the Pittsburgh-based company found their acquisition bid, quote, unreasonable. U.S. Steel says it is reviewing alternatives after receiving multiple unsolicited offers. And Nestle USA is recalling batches of the Toll House chocolate chip cookie dough break and bake bars over concerns the products could contain fragments of wood. The recalled products were produced April 24th and 25th. So far, no illnesses have been reported, and the recall affects no other Nestle Toll House products. Consumers should return the dough bars to the store they purchased them from for a replacement or refund. And Barbie continues to rule the box office, earning over $33 million to retain the #1 spot for the 4th week in a row. The film has already surpassed the $1 billion mark. Oppenheimer returned to the #2 spot, raking in $18 million, and followed by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, with over $15 million domestically. That's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, as we've been talking about, we've got these showers across the area, and we're still seeing some light rain for some of us. However, this rain is on the way out after a night of strong severe thunderstorms, and we still have flooding concerns across the area. We'll take another full look at that forecast in just a moment. It's also just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are going to come up after this upcoming break. But before we get to that, why don't we head off to New York City and see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Tom Brady's and Michael Phelps' mentor joins us to talk about his secrets to success and how he helped both those folks reach their full potential. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Time for some Monday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're going to begin with Juniper Liberty, celebrating birthday number 4. Happy birthday, Juniper.
And over in Arcadia, Kansas, happy 9th birthday to Colt Duft.
And we've got Isaac Barton celebrating number 15 in Columbus. Happy birthday, Isaac.
And over in Girard, Kansas, happy 29th birthday to Shelby Johnson, whose birthday was on Saturday, but still nevertheless, happy birthday, Shelby.
And another belated birthday going out to Debbie Beasley in Altoona, celebrating number 57. Happy birthday, Debbie.
And this is a big one. Virgil Lepinaud turned 100 on Friday. Happy 100th birthday, Virgil.
All right, and we also have Blake and Lindsay Guffey celebrating their 8th anniversary. A happy anniversary to the Guffey family.
Lovely couple. And of course, Bob Kimmick over in Hepler, Kansas. Happy birthday to you, Bob.
And Patrick Haggerty celebrating a birthday in Frontenac. Happy birthday, Patrick.
Hey, Mike and Cheryl Reed just celebrated their 55th anniversary on Thursday, the 10th, over in Chinook, Kansas. That's a big one.
That is. And just down the way, Kenneth and Clara Whelan celebrating their 66th anniversary in St. Paul. Happy anniversary to the Whelans. What a great list. Some impressive celebrations on there, but there's a surprising lack of photos for these impressive celebrations. Caitlin, where do they need to send those to?
Well, you got to submit your birthday and anniversaries to be announced on our morning show to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com, and we love little messages and pictures, so please send those our way.
And of course, while you're visiting our website, you should take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You get great deals from local businesses. You also get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So head over to KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for that birthday club today. All right, let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, shall we? You can see still got a few showers out there across parts of the area, but we will continue to see clearing as we head through the morning. But we did get a fair amount of rain. We got strong severe thunderstorms, so that rain has led to flood warnings and flood advisories for a good portion of southwest Missouri. And in this darker green color you see here going into northeast Oklahoma, that's still a flood watch that's in effect. And we have an aerial flood warning southeast Kansas, so Fredonia, Neodesha, Buffalo, Chanute, Erie, Stark, you need to make sure in any of these flooded areas that if you see water over the roadway, as we've been telling you all morning, turn around, don't drown. It's not worth it. Just take a little longer to get where you're going, but also plan your commute accordingly. If you live in any of the areas where those flood advisories and flood warnings are, and you know that your route may be one that could be impacted by flood waters, plan ahead. Plan to go some other direction just to make sure you get where you're going. All right, severe weather left behind some damage reports for us in southwest Missouri. All these wind damage reports, 90% of them are trees and power lines that are down. Had some hail north of Monette, a 61 mile an hour wind gust. Hail west of Neosho and wind damage in Ottawa County. Some trees and power lines down. Same up in Coffee County. In southeast Kansas, around the Burlington area, some of those winds up there measured at 74 miles an hour. And those flood advisories follow this boomerang shape because that's where we received the heaviest rainfall. Now, on average, picked up about 3.5 inches of rain within that red box we drew on here. But look at some of this. You take a look at our chart. We've got rainfall totals anywhere from 4 to 10 inches, and some folks down in Craig County in northeast Oklahoma picking up more than 10 inches of rain in the last 24 hours, hence why we do have those flood advisories. So we need this rain. This is great to see these rain totals, but again, unfortunately, it's led to some flooding concerns out there as well this morning. The rest of these showers, again, will kick on out of here. What you're seeing out by Wichita, watch out, it magically appears. That's not actually happening, but we'll continue to clear out as we head into the afternoon. We got a great Monday ahead of us. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, at least in Joplin, still cloudy right now, still some showers out there. And same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. And from our camera at 7th and range line, we do have those gray skies out there, still getting some light showers, but not a bad start temperature-wise. So we're starting out in the 70s. We look around the area, we had 66 Iola, 69 in Pittsburgh, Parsons, Chanute, Neodesha, and Independence, 72 Veneta and Miami, 70 Neosho, Carthage, and 69 Monette and Lamar. Again, some of these showers are going to hang on through about 8 o'clock this morning. Then we'll really start to see them clear out. Skies will start to clear out. We're mostly clear and low 70s as we head into the the late morning. And then as we go into the afternoon, look at this. 10 to 12 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. Not above, below where we should be. As we go upper 70s, maybe a couple of lower 80s out there under mostly clear skies. And as we head into the evening, looks great as well. We have partly cloudy skies falling back to the 60s. So great evening. And our overnight lows right around 60. In addition, that also means some of our friends out there may fall back into the upper 50s tonight. And then we've got a chance for 50-degree overnight lows again Tuesday night. We're talking, it's the middle of August. It's the middle of summer. It's typically pretty hot. And we're going back into the 50s. That's not bad. Upper 70s Tuesday, low 80s Wednesday, so great weather there. Unfortunately, because it is summer and it is still the middle of August, the heat returns. Low 90s Thursday, so not terrible, right about where we should be. But then it turns terrible. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, upper 90s, lower 100s. And we'll hold on to that all the way through the beginning of next week. And we'll transition into sunny skies with those triple-digit temperatures out there. So enjoy the next 2 or 3 days because it is really going to start to heat up again as we head toward the end of this week. Well, coming up over on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to tell you how a homeowner was startled when instead of finding a cat on her porch, she found a bear.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A portion of I-44 in Jasper County was blocked Sunday morning because of a boat. Jasper County authorities were alerted around 7:30 a.m. They say traffic was backed up for about 1.5 miles after a pickup truck hauling the boat jackknifed throwing the boat off the trailer and into the roadway. Traffic resumed as normal around 9 a.m. And a multi-vehicle crash in Claremore, Oklahoma claims the life of a woman. It happened Saturday south of 450 Road. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol is still investigating the cause of the crash. However, they have said it involved 3 vehicles. The driver of one, 42-year-old Mercy Ogala, was killed. A passenger in her vehicle was injured, as were the drivers of the other 2 vehicles. A Knoll Coffee Shop hosted a resume and job application assistance event on Saturday to support the people losing their jobs because of the Tyson plant closure. They had drip coffee at no cost for those needing assistance and multiple computers set up in the shop. While the rain might have discouraged some people to show up, volunteer translators were on standby to help those with their applications. Tyson Foods announced plans to close its poultry processing plant in Knoll in October, and about 1,500 workers will be laid off. The Common Cups resume and job application help event will happen every Saturday until the plant's closure in October. ARMA VJ homecoming celebrations continued yesterday in ARMA City Park. Among last weekend's festivities was a bocce ball tournament where teams of all ages competed for a cash prize and gift certificates to Chicken Mary's. Plus, there was a junior bathing suit beauty contest where boys and girls 6 months old to 3 years old competed for a trophy. This was the 77th annual celebration for ARMA. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Hey, as you head out the door, we've still got a few stray showers out there. We do have flooding concerns, so watch out for those flooded roadways. Turn around, don't drown. As we go into the afternoon, though, we clear out, mostly clear skies and beautiful temperatures as we go into the upper 70s, maybe a couple of lower 80s out there, but otherwise below average for today. We fall back to the 60s, partly cloudy skies through the late afternoon and evening, mostly clear overnight, right around 60, which also means could be some upper 50-degree readings out there. The nice weather holds on tomorrow and Wednesday, upper 70s, lower 90s. We're talking another night of 50s for overnight lows. And then all of a sudden, Mother Nature says, oh, hey, by the way, it's still August. It's still summer. So here's that for you. We go low 90s Thursday, upper 90s Friday, and we return to the triple digits, unfortunately, as we head into the weekend.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making tuna melt casserole in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Fleetwood Mac's Mick Fleetwood's restaurant in Maui is among the hundreds of businesses destroyed. And on CBS Mornings, the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer will use music to help the community heal.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your local only news in the mornings continues. This morning, we learn more about a Jeep invasion that's coming to Baxter Springs.
Plus, love road trips? Who doesn't? Well, we're going to have a special interview just for you. Rafi Adonian joins us in the studio to tell us all about road trips and highways. And boy, if you're watching out for the flood weather, the flooded roadways, today, tomorrow, maybe even Wednesday, great days for a road trip. So we're going to learn more about that. It's a great, if you got a convertible, put the top down, get out there and enjoy it before it turns 105 again.
Yep, that sounds like a good plan.
It does. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
We'll see you today at noon.